Life, whether at work, in friendships, or even in family, is full of challenges. But sometimes the weakness you hide is your hidden strength. Imagine yourself as a cactus standing tall in the middle of a dry desert. The harsh environment with scorching heat during the day and freezing cold at night, where most plants cannot survive. However, the cactus thrives. It not only survives but also thrives, thanks to its ability to store water in its trunk, reduce leaf area to limit evaporation, and sharp thorns to protect it from the dangers around it. The cactus does not complain about the heat or the dryness, but it resiliently finds a way to survive persistently and quietly. Likewise, in life, every challenge you encounter will teach you how to become stronger. When you don't let yourself be affected by external problems or internal emotions, you become as steady and steadfast as a cactus. You don't deny the storm, but you learn not to let the rain wet you and not to let the wind knock you down. You will learn to master your own destiny, to stand firm, strong, and calm even in the sea of chaos around you. In this video, we will explore the 18 Stoic principles of Epictetus, a great philosopher that you may have heard of. These principles will help you understand that true power does not come from noise, but from your own silence, from the ability to light the way in the dark. You may have heard these principles somewhere, but in the next few minutes, pay full attention to what we share so that you can focus on the most important things with examples and specific lessons to help you understand most easily. Let's get started. Principle number 1. Listen twice as much as you speak. Why did nature give us 2 ears but only 1 mouth? Epictetus believed that this was not a coincidence, but a profound message. We should not love our own voice too much, but learn to appreciate and listen to the voices of others. Every conversation is an opportunity to learn, to absorb perspectives and experiences that we do not know. We progress in life not by repeating what we already know, but by expanding our horizons from what others share. So from today, start paying more attention to what people around you say and less attention to what you have always kept inside. Imagine you are in a stressful meeting. Instead of trying to interrupt and talk over others, you decide to listen carefully to each opinion. What is the result? People will feel respected and understood, and you will become the most important voice in the room. Don't just talk to fill the space. Listen, because there is great power in your silence. Principle number 2, always expect the worst. Sounds negative, right? But actually, this is a way to best prepare yourself for unexpected situations. When you have anticipated the worst-case scenario, everything that happens next will be much easier. Try it. Next time you prepare for a presentation, think about the worst-case scenario. The projector breaks, the materials are lost, and you have to improvise completely. If that actually happens, you won't be surprised. But if everything goes well, you will be much more confident. One of the biggest causes of anxiety and its negative consequences is that we are always afraid of adverse situations that will happen in the future. We fear that our children will struggle in school, that we will lose our jobs, or that our spouse will confess something heartbreaking. We even fear bankruptcy or losing everything we have built. The problem is, one day we will worry about one problem, then another, and so on. The reality is that life is not only about joy and happiness, but also about inevitable challenges. So we live in a state of tension, worrying every day about what might happen. And this is where Epictetus' philosophy comes in handy. He suggests that you imagine that all the things you fear have already happened. What could be worse? When you think this way, your mind will start to develop coping strategies that will help you move forward with a strong and confident mind. Preparation is your armor. Don't be afraid of failure. Embrace it. Principle 3. Prepare to fail. Failure is not your enemy. It is your best teacher, but only if you are willing to learn from it. Stoic philosophy reminds us that success comes not from avoiding mistakes, but from having the courage to face them and learn from them. Remember, Thomas Edison tried thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. If he was afraid of failure, would the world be the way it is today? Every failure is a step closer to success. Don't let fear hold you back. Instead, be grateful for the lessons that failure brings, because it is the only way you can improve. We often do the impossible to avoid looking foolish, but Epictetus had a different view. According to his philosophy, One of the best things that can happen to you is to be considered a fool by others. It is this acceptance that will give you the opportunity to truly improve, both professionally and personally. Epictetus reminds us that overcoming is not the product of a knee-jerk reaction, but the result of a long journey of trials and errors. It is through mistakes that we discover what makes us grow, and thus move closer to perfection. Principle 4. Recognize the dangers of possessions. Possessions can bring comfort and convenience, but if left unchecked, they can quickly become your master. What you own is not just material, but also a burden of anxiety and greed. Think for a moment. Do you really need that new car or bigger house? Or are you trying to fill a void in your soul with these material things? Enjoy wealth as a tool, but don't let it take over your mind. The wealth we pursue carries a stigma that not everyone can free themselves from. It's not just about people appearing out of nowhere to take advantage of your wealth, but also about the change in ourselves. When we own things that we previously could not imagine, our spirit can be transformed, not in a good way. From that moment, we can start to lose the core moral values that we once held dear. Wealth can enslave us if we are not careful. Always remember that wealth is only a tool to serve life, not a goal for us to live for. Principle number 5, do not cling to a single hope. Putting all your faith in a single dream can be very dangerous. If that dream is shattered, you can lose everything you have invested in it. Think about it. If you are starting a business, don't focus on just one product. Expand your horizons and diversify your ideas to minimize risk. Be flexible and open-minded. When you have many options, one closed door is no longer the end. Fortunately, we are creatures who are inclined to practice diversity, so there is no reason to put all our hopes on a single dream. This can be devastating if we fail. That is why Epictetus encouraged us to pursue many dreams, because this will multiply our chances of success. When you diversify your hopes and goals, you not only create opportunities but also minimize the losses when faced with failure. Principle number 6. Always remember that death is waiting at the end of the road. It may sound scary, but thinking about death actually helps us live more fully. When you realize that your time is limited, you learn to prioritize the things that are truly important in life. Ask yourself, if today were your last day, what would you do differently? Would you spend more time with your family, or would you pursue a passion that you have long neglected? Live each day as if it were your last, not out of fear, but out of meaning. This is not a call to pessimism, but a reminder that death is the final destination of every action, every effort. When we remember this, we begin to reevaluate the value of life. Is it worth spending 20 years of our lives saving up for a house that we can't take with us? Just like the things we consider indispensable, such as phones, credit cards, or toothbrushes, having a small notebook with these principles written down will be very useful. These principles help us no longer see failure as misfortune or see life as a limited amount of time that we have to use. Instead, we will have a more realistic view of our existence and will certainly know how to make better use of each moment in life. If you are watching this far, the video must be useful to you. Please leave your opinion in the comment section and don't forget to like the video. Principle number 7. True wealth lies in the spirit of contentment. You will never feel enough if you always compare yourself to others. Instead, appreciate what you already have and cultivate gratitude. Try this. Every night before going to bed, think of 3 things that you feel grateful for. This will help you find happiness even on the hardest days. Contentment does not come from having more, but from being content with what you have. According to Stoicism, Epictetus had a very clear concept of happiness, and this is reflected in one of his famous quotes. A wise man is one who does not worry about what he has not, but rejoices in what he has. This quote is not just a thought, but advice to help us learn to stop feeling miserable about the things we do not have in life. When we allow ourselves to complain about what we lack, we miss out on precious moments of happiness that we can be thankful for what we have achieved so far. In fact, this is much greater than what our eyes are trained to appreciate. A rich person is not just someone who owns a lot of material possessions, but someone who knows how to live contentedly and appreciate what he has. Principle number 8, bring humility into your life. Humility is a solid foundation for learning and growth. Stoic philosophy teaches that if you always think you know everything, you will never have the opportunity to receive new knowledge. Try this. In a discussion, instead of trying to defend your point of view, open your heart to listen to other opinions. This will not only help you expand your knowledge, but also help you build deep, sympathetic relationships. Humility does not make you small. On the contrary, it makes you greater with each lesson you receive. If you really want to learn something, the first thing to do is to relearn what you think you know. This quote from Epictetus calls us to put humility first, especially in learning. In life, boasting and pride in knowledge only distances us from the truth. We will realize that we really do not know anything about the things we are trying to learn. Therefore, let's look at the world through the eyes of a child, always surprised and eager to learn, to be able to fully absorb knowledge. Principle number 9. Don't blame. Focus on solutions. Blaming others or yourself will not help you improve. Stoic philosophy advises us to focus on finding effective solutions instead of wasting time on blame. Try this. When a project goes wrong, instead of blaming, ask yourself, how can we fix this? Responsibility is the key to growth and self-improvement. When we blame others, it is just a way to avoid responsibility. Ordinary people may blame themselves, but wise people realize that every mistake is a valuable lesson, not a sign of ignorance. Epictetus' quote emphasizes that today's therapists also consider blame as a feeling to be eliminated from life. The only way to overcome guilt is to refuse to play that game. Blaming others or yourself will only take you away from the responsibility of correcting your mistakes. And this is a temptation that is hard to resist. However, only those who are truly determined and have a strong will can overcome this temptation and still take responsibility for their actions. Principle number 10. Associate with positive people. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that we are deeply influenced by the people around us. When you connect with inspiring and optimistic people, their positive energy will energize your spirit. Imagine, you have a group of friends who always share success stories and life lessons. Each meeting not only helps you gain more motivation, but also shapes your positive thinking, helping you see everything with a hopeful perspective. Your surroundings are the soil that nourishes your soul. Choose your companions carefully to sow positive seeds in your life. Epictetus left us a valuable piece of advice on this. Surround yourself with people who make you want to give your best. The behavior of those around you has a huge impact on your mood and spirit. There are people who drain our energy and ruin a good day, while others inspire us with joy and excitement. Therefore, one of the smartest decisions we can make is to associate with people who bring positive energy into our lives, and say goodbye to those who may make us regret ever meeting them. Principle number 11. Never forget that your reactions shape your destiny. Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it. You can't control everything that happens in your life, but you always have a choice about how you respond to it. Try this. When you're criticized, instead of getting angry or offended, see it as an opportunity to listen and improve yourself. This will not only help you stay calm, but it will also help you control your emotions and grow stronger. Your destiny is not determined by what others do to you, but by how you choose to respond. We should not take our reactions lightly, because they are the ones that determine our success or failure. Epictetus was very clear on this. He taught that we can't choose what happens to us, but we can control how we manage it. Difficulties can happen to anyone, but it's how we react to them that makes the difference. For some people, divorce can be the end of the line, leaving them depressed and victims of circumstance. But in Epictetus's mind, it is a golden opportunity to begin the journey of self-knowledge. Remember, your life is not about what happens to you, but what you choose to do when faced with those challenges. Principle number 12. Always do your duty. Stoic philosophy emphasizes personal responsibility, affirming that each person in society has a role and a duty. Do them with dedication, without waiting for recognition from others. Consider, a farmer, although he cannot control the weather, still sows rice and tends the fields. He does his work meticulously because it is his responsibility and pride. Do not wait for praise to do the right thing. Do it because it is your mission. Each of us has a role in the society and in this world. The sun does not need praise or miracles to rise every morning, but it still works hard every day. In the same way, every part of nature does its job tirelessly. We, as part of society, must also do our duty. If we only do things when we are encouraged or praised, we will damage both the environment in which we live and ourselves. If you know your duty and realize that others depend on it, you have a moral obligation to do it without being reminded. Principle number 13. Don't hate those who hate you. Stoic philosophy reminds us that hate is a spiritual burden. When you hate someone, they don't suffer any harm. You only hurt yourself. Try this. When someone criticizes you, instead of letting your anger overwhelm you, ignore them. Focus on your goals and let the negative words flow like the wind. Forgiveness is not only a favor you give to others, but also a gift you give to yourself. When you ignore critics, you are much bigger and better than them. People who despise and discriminate against you are not worth your time and energy. Remember, you don't have to let the noise get to you. It's just a lame attempt to hurt you. Instead, become immune to it and move on. Principle number 14. Bet on simplicity. Simplifying your life isn't about giving up everything. It's about focusing on what really matters. Possessions and luxuries can become a burden if you don't control them. Try. Reduce the amount of stuff in your home, keeping only the things you really use or love. This will help you feel lighter and more focused on what's meaningful. Simplicity is freedom. When you're not tied down by material things, you have more time and energy to enjoy life. Why live frugally when we can easily surround ourselves with luxuries these days? The answer is simpler than you might think. Wealth is not self-sustaining, and it takes a lot of commitment and energy every day to maintain this lavish system. By contrast, choosing a simple lifestyle means you don't have to worry about paying bills, loans, or credit cards. Simplicity frees you from material worries and allows you to live a freer life. Principle number 15. Control your emotions. Stoic philosophy teaches that you are the only one in control of your emotions. Don't let outside influences take away your inner peace. Imagine, when someone tries to provoke you, instead of reacting harshly, you smile and ignore it. This not only keeps you calm, but also takes away their satisfaction. Anyone who has the power to make you angry has the power to control you. Don't give that power to anyone else. When you let other people's comments or attitudes bother you, you are giving them control of your life. People who can make you angry can only do so if you let them. Stoic philosophy teaches us that each of us has internal keys, and some of these keys lead to happiness, while others lead to emotional destruction. When you give others control over your emotions, you give them the keys to anger and loss of temper. Keep the keys to yourself so that no one can take away your peace of mind. Principle number 16. Friendship is better than wealth. Epictetus emphasized that the greatest wealth is not money, but sincere relationships. True friendship is an irreplaceable source of encouragement and support. Consider, a rich person can lose all his wealth, but if he has loyal friends, he will never feel lonely or helpless. Investing in friendship is the most meaningful and long-term investment. Material possessions may come and go, but true friends will always be there to support you, especially when everything seems to be falling apart. So devote yourself to cultivating true friendships. This is a long-term investment, bringing in valuable spiritual values that nothing in the world can replace. Friendship is a solid protection, a source of strength that cannot be measured by money. Principle number 17. Always take advantage of every situation. No matter how difficult the situation is, there is always a lesson or potential benefit that you can take advantage of. Stoic philosophy teaches us to always look at the positive side of every situation. Try. When you lose your job, instead of despairing, see it as an opportunity to explore a new field or start a career that you are truly passionate about. Life always brings opportunities, even in adversity. You just have to be ready to recognize and take advantage of them. As Epictetus said, the important thing is not whether the situation is difficult or not, but whether you take advantage of the opportunity. Intelligence helps you recognize the advantage of every situation. Imagine you arrive at work one day and find yourself fired. Instead of feeling hopeless or blaming the situation, you can choose to turn this event into an opportunity to start the business of your dreams. While you complete the remaining tasks, you can gradually move on to what you are truly passionate about. Always look for the positive in every situation, because each time you do, you are getting closer to your goal. These small movements will take you further than those who only complain. Principle number 18. Stop worrying about what is out of your control. One of the core principles of Stoicism is to focus on what you can control and let go of what is beyond your control. Worrying about what you cannot change is a waste of time and energy. Imagine, you plan to have an outdoor party, but the weather forecast says it will rain. Instead of worrying, make a backup plan indoors. Rain or shine, the party will still go on. Inner peace comes from accepting what you cannot control and doing the best you can within your means. You own your opinions, but not your reputation. You may desire success, but you cannot control the quantity of goods or results achieved. So worrying and being bitter about things that are out of your control is a waste of time. Stoic philosophy is not about imagining the ideal scenario, but about applying the lessons to your life and moving forward. I hope you found value in this video, and thank you so much for watching until the end. If you have any thoughts, ideas, or feelings about the principles we shared, feel free to leave them in the comments. Try applying them now if you feel these principles can help you be more stable in life. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next useful videos. See you soon in the next videos, and wish you peace and wisdom on your journey of development.